Hey, what's up, guys? This is Derek Wetmore, Matthew Coller here, the Sports Take Show, the show with all the sports takes. Matthew, we got to talk about the Vikings game yesterday because a lot of people kind of mad at Mike Zimmer for his timeout usage late in regulation that eventually forced overtime. What did you think about Zimmer's timeout with 27 seconds to go in the fourth quarter?
Well, having played thousands of Madden games in my lifetime, I can tell you that Mike Zimmer did make a mistake there calling a timeout too early. He also had a timeout still remaining, so he probably should have run the clock down to about 15 seconds, and then he would have had time to try a handoff into the end zone, and if that had failed, could have called a timeout and then still had another play, and it would have been fourth down, so it wouldn't matter which way that went. If you get in, you win, and if you don't, you lose. So he most certainly should have let the clock wind down. But my sports take on this is that the anger over that play, it is justified, and people are right for saying that he called the timeout too soon. Most of the time when a team gets the ball at the 25-yard line with 23 seconds remaining, as the Lions did, and down by 3, they don't go on to win the game. In fact, Pro Football Reference's win probability gave the Lions about a 10% chance there. And, well, it's the Dumb and Dumber quote. You're saying there's a chance, and there was a chance, and the Lions, a lot had to go right for them to win. So, while people are justified in being upset with Mike Zimmer, I still say, look, they had a lot of opportunity to make a stop, and the Lions were in tough with no timeouts and only 23 seconds left. I mean, just make a stop there.
I've got 3 sports takes in response to your sports takes. One,
a trio.
It's so you're telling me there's a chance, not saying there's a chance. People screw that up all the time, and it's maddening.
Sorry.
Secondly, I 100% agree with your opinion that you usually win that game. Now, should Zimmer try to maximize his percentage chance of winning there at the end? Yeah, definitely. But third sports take is I think that the real issue here that's getting overlooked a little bit is the fact that the Vikings fell into a prevent defense, which, as my friend Judd Zulgad likes to say, really only prevents you from winning the football game. If the Vikings keep their foot on the proverbial throat in that play there and the Lions don't pick up 27 yards to set up a 58-yard field goal, then we're not exactly we're still talking about it, but it's not treading into the realm of hot sports take that Zimmer screwed up at the end of the game. If the Vikings do pull that one out, the timeout becomes less of an issue. And I have a theory to float by you again from Judd Zulgad. I'm just blatantly stealing takes today. But I believe Judd is the one who said that every NFL head coach should pay some intern $50,000 a year to stand next to them on the sideline, pick the top 32 Madden players in the world, and they just do clock management. Your one job here, sit in my hip pocket. You are my clock manager. You've played way more Madden than me. You won't get rattled by these situations like it seems like almost every NFL head coach does.
Yeah, I've always thought that that'd be a clever idea to have one person to focus on that. I mean, they have so many guys that have jobs, whether it's on game day or full-time jobs, that, you're like, I can't believe that's an actual position. They pay a guy to carry around, or they used to carry around the cord that was connected to the coach's headset. I think they might be wireless now, but they used to, right? I mean, so there are all sorts of jobs that, might have less value. And if that guy wins you one game because he makes the right decision, because he says, hey, run it down to 15 seconds, and you win one game because of it, then it certainly justifies that guy's paycheck. So I will agree with you on that point. I don't agree that prevent defense prevents winning. I mean, I think that there's a reason why the win probability is so darn high in that situation. Most teams would play prevent defense, and most teams would win that game. It's just that there's a freak show kicker that Detroit has that had to make a 58-yarder. I mean, think about that. How many 58 and up kicks have ever been made in the history of the game? Like, what, a handful probably? I mean, you are talking about one of the best field goals to ever be kicked in a game. And I think even, you shouldn't allow a 27-yard throw down the middle of the field, but most of the time, again, that's fine if you allow them to get to that position, because that field goal usually doesn't have a chance. In fact, a lot of teams probably just go for the Hail Mary there instead of trying to make the field goal. It's just that they have the foot of God playing in Detroit, apparently. And when he made the one from 53, we all said in the press box, oh my gosh, that guy could probably make it from 60 plus. And then he hit a 58-yarder, but that's a pretty unusual situation, which again, so we're going to have a ton of reaction and anger to this loss, but it just blows my mind how many things had to go exactly right for Detroit to win it, that I thought Minnesota probably played the better overall game and a game that will usually win for them, and it just didn't turn out right. Even think about just the little things. Jim Caldwell apparently talked his way into 2 more seconds on the clock after a timeout, which I guess the broadcast didn't mention, but the Detroit News found that out. So, and then they had 2 seconds left to set up that field goal. So again, all the things that went wrong. And so yes, Zimmer should have let it click down. There's no question about that. And he should probably admit that too, that he should have let it go a little bit farther. But normally this is a thing that just doesn't happen.
And if you're talking about, I say the prevent defense thing tongue in cheek a little bit, but if you're talking about a goal on that final drive, if you're the Vikings defense, what is it? It's keep them in a 55 plus yard field goal, right? Like, don't give up a touchdown and don't make this field goal something that Blair Walsh could hit.
Yeah, right, exactly. Maybe you feel like in hindsight, oh man, why didn't they play more aggressively there? Why didn't they blitz or get after Stafford? Because they were trying to do exactly that. If they complete a pass, just make sure that it doesn't put them in field goal position. And again, I would say almost every kicker in the league can't make a 58-yarder. Kickers have gotten better and better and better, except in Minnesota. They've gotten better and better and better in the league over the years, but still a 58-yarder is a special kind of kick. And I think for the most part, the defense did what it was supposed to do there. If they only have 10 seconds left or 5 seconds left instead of 23, then yes, their chances of pulling that off would have been much, much lower. So I do agree with anybody who says that.